He doesn't believe in money politics or bribes, but actually his party did take bribes. It did indulge in money politics. It was secretly paid by Umno. It was pretending to be Umno's enemy, whereas in fact it was secretly Umno's ally in the election. These were all things that I was arguing in my case. And when it finally started to come near to the day that the trial was going to begin, Hadi realized I had enough evidence against him, and he panicked and offered to pay my lawyers if I would go away.
Questions awaited from the audience. When this 1MDB scandal exploded, you also made another very shocking revelation, which is that you claimed to have evidence that Panas received 90 million from Umno in 2016. This revelation was when you were interviewed by BFM Radio 4 years ago. Then what happened? All Panas supporters were very angry at the revelation. Then the Panas president has filed a summons against you. Then Panas supporters were instructed to donate to finance the legal cost. Some give 10 ringgit, some give 1,000 ringgit. Those are the Panas supporters who are obsessed with Panas, especially the president. In the initial round, you agreed to fight this case in court. Likewise with Panas. Just the first round, Panas claimed to have won the case. All Panas supporters believe and are happy with what they say is the success of Panas. Then in 2016, suddenly Hadi Awang wants to settle out of court with a total payment of 1.4 million. This is very strange. Why does Panas pay if they win the case? Maybe you can clarify this issue.
Well, they didn't ever win the case. And of course, this is what, it's always better not to lie or misrepresent things, because in the end, I'm a great believer that in the end, lies get revealed. They made a lot of noise saying they'd won the case, whereas in fact, I think they won some little, technical judgment about how we should fight the case. And my lawyers said, this is such a ridiculous case, we should throw this out of court on this. And it was agreed. Actually, I was asked by the judge, are you sure you want to do this? Because I think I think they will appeal if I rule for this. And the Panas lawyers jumped up and said, yes, we will appeal. And the judge turned to me and he said, it could be more expensive doing it this way. I think we should just have a full trial. That's what they won. So then, of course, yap, Raja Petro thingy, he goes to he starts yapping, saying that this is a victory. And this, of course, was all political because they were going into an election. So unfortunately, they lied to their supporters and said they'd won the case before we had even started to even look at the case, to judge the actual case. So they put themselves, but afterwards, Hadi said it didn't matter. Hadi has made clear that he's happy to lie, hasn't he? If you're lying in what Hadi thinks is a good cause, then it's okay to lie. He gave us a big lecture over the last few days about how he doesn't work with immoral politicians. He doesn't believe in money politics or bribes, but actually his party did take bribes. It did indulge in money politics. It was secretly paid by Umno. It was pretending to be Umno's enemy, whereas in fact it was secretly Umno's ally in the election. These were all things that I was arguing in my case. And when it finally started to come near to the day that the trial was going to begin, Hadi realized I had enough evidence against him, and he panicked and offered to pay my lawyers if I would go away. My lawyer said, yes, we want to be paid. And so I settled. But I think I made my point. I didn't change a single word in the article he was complaining about.
All right. Okay. Past attitude that is often blames other parties actually is to cover its own weakness. It's not something new. Yesterday, PAS blamed other races besides Malays and as corrupt. PAS linked Pakatan Harapan supposedly surrounded by corrupt people while they themselves are in the government, which is also with the court cluster. This is annoying and looks very stupid. There is one audio that you also reveal. The Abdul's voice at a meeting who admitted for taking money from Umno. Is that also one of the clear proofs of past taking money from Umno?
Yes, it certainly was one. I also had bank slips that showed they'd taken money from Umno. They knew those would come up in court because we'd submitted them as evidence. There was no doubt that Umno was secretly taking, PAS was secretly taking money from Umno. And that was the point I made. They had claimed before the election they were not in alliance with Umno. There was, obviously, by the time it was coming to court, they had gone into open alliance with Umno, something they'd lied about before the election. So, as I say, Hadi has now gone on the record to say lying is okay as long as it's him that's lying and he thinks it's in a good cause, by which he means it's good for his party. So he has, let's put it this way, he has double standards. And, I think when we read things like his speech, when we read his speech from 2 days ago about morality, honestly, you have to laugh. It's so outrageous. It's so outrageous. As you say, he is in a government that is run and dominated by crooks, people who are being charged. Even people within Umno are suggesting that they should dispense with MPs who are actually, in the middle of a corruption court case. Even some Umno people think that that would be a correct thing to do, but not PAS, it seems. PAS is happy to work with people who are being charged for the most outrageous crimes. What can you say? What can you say to a man who claims to be a cleric, who claims to be religious, who has such double standards and openly preaches them? He's not the only one. He's not the only one. You see them in America, before they get found out for, having maybe a secret sex life. You see these, which I'm not accusing Hadi of, let me make clear. But you see these people who stand on television, they preach morality, they preach God, they tell everyone to trust them. And then on the other hand, they are willing to do the exact opposite, taking money, lying about the fact they're taking money, working with people who have been shown to be dishonest, and all the rest.